Okay, welcome everybody again to Friday Live. You've got myself, you've got Colin Harper, Laura Wider, Brian Peluso, and Michael Kutch down in sunny Sarasota, Florida, while we're all freezing our butts off here in Pittsburgh. And I know you all have heard about the 12 days of Christmas. Well, we have the 12 days of additional stress to add to your life with some extra work to do at the end of the year. It's just some good year-end tips around financial planning that Brian and Laura are going to kind of hop into a little bit. But all joking aside, I don't know if you all know this, but the holidays are actually the most stressful time of year. That's what my doctor said when she doubled my dose of anxiety medicine this week. But
Which hasn't taken effect yet.
It has not. I'm kind of losing my mind over here. But all joking aside, it's been a heck of a year from a number of fronts, and I think it's a great time to kind of decompress a little bit, relax, spend time with people you love or dislike, depending on your family situation. But we've got Mike, who's going to give us. I think we all have a little bit of both. Yeah. Mike's going to give us an update on the markets, and then we'll talk about some just general good year-end planning tips and share some ways you can save some money during Christmas if you stick along to the end. So, as always, thank you for joining us. We love doing these. Nothing we say here is supposed to be a recommendation. These are just our thoughts and observations on the market. If you are watching these to get your financial planning advice, don't talk to somebody. It makes a much bigger difference. So, Mike, take us away. What's going on this week?
Yeah, so markets trended lower for the most part this week. We got a little up day yesterday, and that was continuing today. Looks like it's fading a little bit. But the main reason why we were down to start the week was we got better than expected economic data through that PMI non-manufacturing, so more the services areas of the PMI data. So that kind of going along with the carrying on from the jobs report last week, the data's just been too good for what the Fed needs to see. So as you know, we're currently in that cycle where bad news is good news when it comes to the markets, and pretty much just because of what that means for the Fed. So the PMI services number was more of a mid-cycle reading. So it's not flashing any recessionary signals yet on that front. We have seen some of those signals, especially in housing and the manufacturing data starting to see a little more into contractionary territory. But going into the bond side, we've actually been seeing a decent amount of treasury buying over the past week and really over the past month. And that's most notable in the longer end of the yield curve. Now, just to kind of go into the different spectrums of the yield curve, the treasury bonds, the shorter end, specifically the 2-year, kind of reflects where the market sees the Fed going in their rate hikes. So if that goes up, or in this case, it came down a little bit, that would mean that the market is anticipating that the Fed would go a little lower. That's probably not the case right now, but the longer end reflects more of where the bond market sees economic growth going over the next 6 months or so. So the fact that we've seen a big decline in that longer end treasury rates means that the bond market sees a higher chance of an economic slowdown or even a recession in the future. So right now, the 10-year is slightly below 3.5%. That's really key. Well, now it's key resistance because we're below it. But so if we stay below that, we're likely to trend lower in coming months, which means more gains for those longer end treasury bonds. But I think we're probably going to get back above that, especially if the Fed needs to get to about 5% or above 5%. We're unlikely to see that spread between the 2 and the 10 be more than 100 basis points. That's a full 1%. So I see the 10-year probably getting back to 4%. We have seen a big breakdown of the dollar in the past few weeks. That's going to be especially good for those international or companies with international exposure. What comes to mind, sectors like materials and technology should really be beneficiaries of that. Now, the tech trade's been pretty out of favor, and that's probably going to continue in this current environment until the Fed really stops raising rates or even starts cutting rates. So next week is going to be one to watch. We're going to get the CPI data on Tuesday, which is a widely watched measure for inflation, for those of you who don't know. And then we also get a Fed meeting, so double whammy next week. Thanks. Now, we did get the producer price index today, which is kind of an indication of where CPI might be. That came in higher than expected, so I'm actually surprised the market's holding up today so far. Now, if we do get a high CPI number or higher than expected on Tuesday, we'll probably get more hawkish speak out of the Fed chair on Wednesday. I think 50 basis points is probably likely in this meeting. It's really more important the messaging that he brings, that he plans on doing going forward. And I think we're going to continue to hear that their work is not done. We're going to keep rates higher for longer. So on the technicals, keep an eye on the S&P 500 at around 3,900 if we decline a little bit. And then on the upside, kind of where that downtrend line, where we failed last week, just shy of 4,100.
So, Mike, more importantly, that was all wonderful information, but we have Brittany Griner back in exchange for an international arms dealer. Does that help the market or hurt the market? What are your thoughts on that?
The market doesn't pay much attention to that.
No comment.
So that should be a big, upwind for the market, I would think. Anyway, so
I'm going to say some terrible things, but I'm going to pass. So yeah, nothing there. But well, Laura, I know to change the topic a bit and avoid the political trap that Brian has laid for us, as much as I want to spring right into it. As the rose between two thorns today, do you want to give us some ideas on how to save money during the Christmas season?
Absolutely. So Brian and I are going to beat Bob back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Brian has some tips on saving for long-term and through financial planning. I have tips for immediate savings through Christmas time.
Nice.
'Tis the season.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one is actually a new trend that has been going around, which is doing experiences or having experiences over gifts. And some of them can be like going to the zoo, going to a concert, a museum, spending time with your nieces, nephews, grandkids. Babysitting's a big one. Colin, I'm sure you'd rather have a couple hours of babysitting than like a new shirt, new pair of jeans, something like that, a night out with your wife.
Underwear and socks is really all I get anymore.
Yeah.
True dad.
Which are great.
But yeah, so you can save money doing that. And then also you can spread that out over time. It doesn't have to be money spent in December. It can be November and January.
I think that's a fantastic idea. And speaking of experiences, I will have one to never forget when I forget to give my wife a Christmas gift this year. So, if you're looking for a one-off, a really, really one-off experience that you will never forget, just make sure you forget to get a loved one a Christmas gift.
But this is your reminder.
No, I'm joking.
That right on
social
Also,
media.
what we say is not to be taken as specific recommendations.
Yeah, that's it.
Past performance in that might be
Future
performance.
it
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah, so some of the other things that you should absolutely look at in, kind of a more of a practical financial planning perspective. If you have the opportunity to put more money into your 401k, you've got, a few weeks. If you can max that out and increase the percentage, you might be able to do that. That's one. Charitable giving. Make sure that if you are charitably inclined and you're giving on a regular basis to certain entities, that whatever you want to do for this year, do it by December 31st. The other thing is take a look at, this is a little more difficult, but we can help you with it, is your tax situation. Coming to the end of the year, you're going to kind of know what you're going to make for the year, what you've been giving for the year. It's a good time to summarize all of that, start to think about it. Obviously, tax time is not until April 2015, but you're going to have a good idea as to what you're going to make for the year and what you've given for the year and what your tax situation is. Give us a call. We can, kind of help you manage some of that. Some of the things that you will be able to do proactively is before April 15th. If you are eligible, you can make contributions to an IRA or a Roth IRA. With an IRA, you can take some of the deductions. With a Roth IRA, there are no deductions. But as we get to the end of the year, you're going to kind of know what your financial landscape is. So if you can put more money into a qualified retirement plan, whether it be at work, you need to do that by December 31st. If you're going to look at IRAs or Roth IRAs, you have until April tax time next year, but you're going to know kind of what your tax situation is. So give us a call. We'll kind of look at it, give you some recommendations on what you can do proactively right now. Some things need to be done by December 31st, and then reactively what you can do by April 15th.
Awesome. And little things such as the 1% increase for your 401k. I know a lot of employers offer that. So that's super easy and something that we can talk to you about. All right. So my next one for Christmas saving tips, use your gift cards.
Oh, yeah.
So many people have
yeah.
gift cards left over.
They're
You can
everywhere.
either use them, like say you have a Macy's gift card, use it to buy somebody a gift. Or I know a lot of people like go out to dinner, go to happy hour, cocktail hour, and stuff like that for Christmas time. Use your gift cards for your dinner. And then speaking of gift cards, another like quick little tip in there is fuel perks. A lot of grocery stores will do fuel perks for gift cards. If you know you're going to be spending somewhere like $500 on Amazon, like I will be this month, go to Giant Eagle, go to wherever, grab a gift card, get your full fuel perks.
Double down on those.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea. I am notoriously terrible at using my gift cards. Thank goodness Kristen is very good at it because I probably have 3 in my wallet that may never get used.
Well, there's so many ways to double down on that. So, for example, and we're in Western PA, Giant Eagle, big grocery store. If you go to Giant Eagle and you buy gift cards and use a credit card to buy those gift cards that has some sort of perks, so we're doubling up on that. Oh, I love that idea. And I do that on a regular basis.
Me too.
Awesome. But I think the most important thing to take away is there is an endless number of things you can do, of good tips here and there. But we would leave it as we kind of get pretty close to Christmas and the holiday season here. This is a perfect time to not worry about your finances and what you have going on as far as that goes. Always a great idea to save money. But as far as your big picture, if you're spending this time of year worried about that, you're doing something wrong, and we'd love to have a chat with you because this is time for family. And, it's always good. We'll be here all season. You're just making sure everything's in order. But we hope that all you listening are going to be able to get some great time with friends, family, loved ones, because that's what this time of year is all about, not worrying about your finances. So if you are, give us a call. We'd love to have a chat. Our website's on our Facebook page here, and we are always available by phone. But we will see you next week. We'll kind of fill in. I know Mike mentioned there's a big week in the markets and some Fed meeting, things like that. So we'll chat about that next week. We will find some, another planning topic to chat about as well. But until then, have a great weekend, great next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane during these holidays, and we will see you next week.
Bye.